Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Patty. I'm a part-time reseller on sites such as Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. And what I have to share with you today are my sales from last week on all three platforms. And I'm also going to share with you a surprising sale that I got this week. And we're going to look at my sales from last week or the prior week and my sales from last week to see if this experiment that I'm doing on eBay is paying off. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. This is actually take two. I have no idea what happened to my first recording, but we're going to go ahead and start it with my sales on eBay. Some of the sales that I had for last week. Starting off, we have this figure of Bert. I had it for a few months. It came in a lot with other toys, and it did sell for $7.31 on my 5% promotion. I do promote my listings on eBay at 5%. And a lot of times when I have likers on the item, I will send them out an additional 10%. But I do believe that having even just a small percentage helps you to make more sales. Next, we do have this My First School book. It's a workbook with different activities. It's perfect for homeschooling. I did get it for 50 cents and it did sell on an offer of $16.62. This was a nice sale. This is a nightwear dress. It was vintage. It came to me in a Goodwill blue box. I used to get those mystery boxes, and so the items usually cost about $2.50 once I put the cost in there, but this did sell for $22.99. And this was a recently relisted item. I talked before about the experiment that I'm doing on eBay. The experiment that I'm doing is end and sell similar. So what you do is right before the item ends, you go ahead and do a sell similar and then end the item. And what this does in eBay is it makes it seem like your item is a brand new listing. So there are some resellers who swear by this and say that it does help them make more sales. So because my sales on eBay were a little bit slower, I decided to try it for this week and see if it made a difference. So make sure you stay to the end of the video so you can see my comparisons for the prior week and last week, and we can see if it made any difference. But again, this sold for $22.99 on an offer that I sent out. Then we do have this Joseph Campbell Companion Reflections of the Art of Living. See, it does have a little bit of wear on it. It was in pretty good condition. I got this for about 50 cents and it did sell on my 5% promotion for $14.24. Next, we have this rabbit dress. I can see by the label it is vintage, and I do remember, not to date myself, but I do remember having a dress similar to this when I was a teenager, so I knew right away when I pulled it out of the box. I got this in a mystery box as well. I knew that it was vintage. It did sell on an offer for $24.90, was an offer that I sent out to watchers. Then we have this Barbie coffee shop anything playset. This was a bad buy. I saw a bunch of Barbie it's house accessories. We had this coffee shop. There was a kitchen set. They were priced pretty well, so I decided to take a chance on it, but I have had this for a very long time. So when somebody sent me an offer for $7, I went ahead and accepted to get it gone. And they did end up paying a lot for shipping because they chose priority mail. Then we have this Liz Claiborne extra large shirt. Liz Claiborne is not a brand that I pick up a lot. So this must have come to me in a mystery box as well. But it did sell for the full asking price of $14.99. And I think this was recently relisted, and this sold before my promotion started. Next, we have this vintage McCall little darling dress, and it has been cut, so you can sell these if they've been cut. Just make sure to put in the listings that they have been cut. It is vintage. I've had this for a little bit, probably like 6 to 8 months, but it did sell for $7.90, which is full asking price. Then I have this collection of 3 what your kindergarten, first grade, and second grader needs to know. I got this in a free book lot, so when someone sent me an offer for $12, I went ahead and accepted since I didn't have anything into it. Next, I got this character. I was in Goodwill and I saw, and I didn't know where I remember this character from, but I knew that it was vintage. So I decided to go ahead because it was only like $1 or $2. So I just picked it up without looking it up in the store because I knew that it's vintage and I don't see this character very often. And it did sell for the $24.96, and it is from the Tiny Toon Adventures. This is Furball. Then we have this Wolverine figure. This is another item that sold a couple of days after being relisted, and it did sell for an offer of $12. I got this in a toy lot that I paid a couple of dollars for. Then we have this tin sign. There once was a girl who loves frogs. I picked this up for only 50 cents. Reminded me of a former coworker. She absolutely loves frogs. She actually had like a little tattoo of a frog. So when I saw this, I knew that it would sell because there are frog lovers out there. And it sold for $15.10 on the 5% off offer. Then we have this rolling suitcases. These types of accessories from Barbie for me sell pretty well. Like other things like the shoes and stuff don't sell as quickly, but the rolling suitcases are something that does sell well. So this sold for the $8.54. Next, we have this Paw Patrol figure. It's the Robo Dog. Paw Patrol doesn't sell that well for me unless I put the figures with the vehicles that they come with. And unfortunately, I did not remember that I actually have the car that goes with him. So I probably could have sold him and the car for anywhere from $22 to $25. But no matter, this was still a good sale, and I sold it on an offer for $10.26. Then we have this vintage Barbie ballerina doll. She's articulated, so she came into a lot of other dolls. I think I got 3 dolls for $4 because she was articulated. I knew that she would probably sell for a good amount, and so this doll sold for, let me see it, for the full price of $17.95. Well, the full price after the 5% off offer. Then we have this really pretty purse. I have had this for a long time. I got this from a thrift store. I normally don't pick up INC, but because it was new with tags, and I figured this was a really great going out evening purse, and I think I picked it up like close to the holidays. I figured that it would sell, but I did have it for a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it did sell on an offer for $15. So on to Mercari. I had a pretty good week on Mercari. I've been cross-listing a lot to the platform. And starting with this Wilton Cake Pan by Charlie Brown. I don't pick these up as much as I used to. I've had this for probably a couple of years. I thought it would sell quicker, especially since it has like this little ink to it and it was in a really good condition. But it did finally sell for $13.50. Next, all right, next we do have this Scooby-Doo lot clamshell. As you can see, the clamshells were in okay condition, not terrible, but I do make sure to show that. And kids movies, VHS movies sell pretty well, especially in lots, but I would look them up because there are some that are valuable all on their own. But these three, and Scooby-Doo is one of my favorite cartoons, so I've watched all of these a lot. But these three had sold for $15.20. Then we have the Shimmer and Shine bracelet. It did work, but as you can see, it is broken and I put in the listing, needs to be glued. But because it did work and I didn't see a extreme amount listed, I decided to go ahead and list even though it was broken because I figured it can be glued back together pretty easily. And I listed it at $8 expecting to get offers, but someone did go ahead and buy it for the $8. Then we have this cute Dakin bear. It was not very big. It was about 9 inches. I love the little plaid details. Dakin is a really good vintage brand to sell. This bear sold for $35. Next, I came across a bunch of hats at a thrift store. The hats looked like they had barely been worn. They were in great condition. So this Houston Astros hat sold for $23.40. Then we have this Thomas the Train. Thomas the Train is something I'll sell it in lots. A lot of times they sell well in lots. The individual items don't sell quickly for me, but this did sell for $10.80. Then we have the reindeer from Frozen. This was in a toy lot bag of toys that I got. One of the reasons why I got the bag of toys because even though Frozen doesn't sell very quickly or very well for me, I end up selling things in lots. I knew that this figure, because it was a Lego figure, would be valuable by itself, and it did sell for $6.75. Then we have this Gap popover shirt. Gap is not a brand that I will typically pick up unless I get it for um, a little amount because people do like Gap. I like to wear Gap and people know the sizes and styles that fit them well. So if I can get it for $1 or $2, I will flip it. And a lot of times I'll just pop it up on Mercari or Poshmark. I won't worry about eBay because it is so oversaturated over there. But I did pick this one up because it was not only because it was a tunic and I liked the color and the design, but it was linen as well. So I knew that that would sell in the summer months and that sold for $11. Next we have Poshmark, and as been the case lately, I have not had a lot of sales on Poshmark. So only had 3 sales over there last week. And we're going to start with this animal print sheer blouse by a brand Madison. This is a really, really old listing because I have not used this marble background in years. So this was actually in a part of the house where I keep really old inventory from when I first started. So when I got a $10 offer, I was like, sure. Then I have this Vintage Celine Sport. I really liked this color. This came to me in the mystery box, but I figured that it would sell because it was unique. It did sell for $15 in discounted shipping. I use a Chrome extension called Posture VA. It is really great. It's economical and One thing that it does is that it will send out offers for you. You can set it to send out offers whatever amount and whatever time. So at 5 minutes after an item is liked on Poshmark, I have it send out a 10% off offer with $4.99 shipping. And I do make a lot of sales that way. So if you would like to try it out, there is a link below where you can get a percentage off. I think it's like 15% off your first month, but it is well worth it because it can also share your closet, which is something I am not about to do manually because I have thousands of items. But even if you only have like a couple of hundred items, who wants to sit there and share their closet manually? All right. So, and then all right, so I had to go and grab this one. I grabbed the wrong one twice. This is a really pretty blouse by a brand I've heard of called Wishful Park. I think I got this from a regular thrift store and I got it because it was wrapped and because of the colors. But it did sell on an offer of $16 with the discounted shipping, again sent out by Posher VA. Right, and so that is all for the platforms that I have. But stay tuned because I do have the stats from my experiment that I did and my surprising sale. But as you can see, I sell several different platforms. And one thing that I use to do that is Vendoo. It's only like 20 something a month to do that. To list to each platform take only like seconds. It is very, very quick. And you can also add more listings as needed, which is what I appreciate by being a part-time reseller. So I do recommend that you, if you're only selling on one platform, just add another one in there to see, because you never know, what people are going to want on which platform. I've heard people who don't sell on Mercari or they only put certain things on Mercari, and I don't know why you would, people pick and choose because Mercari is absolutely free. It's one of my favorite platforms to sell on because the fees are low. And unlike eBay, once the buyer gets it, they have like 3 days to approve it. If they don't approve it, Mercari goes ahead and approve it, gives you your money. You don't have to worry about like weeks later somebody coming back. And it's just a really, really easy platform to sell on. They have good fees like for FedEx and UPS. You can ship up to 3 pounds for only $7.99. So if you haven't started on there, there is a link below where you can get started. And I do, it's one of the sites that I do recommend because you can sell anything on there. So, all right, so let's go ahead and look at my surprising sale from last week. And this is, um, just speaking about Scooby-Doo, this is a Scooby-Doo monster truck, and this actually sold on a site called Bonanza. I don't know if you ever heard of Bonanza before or not, but it is a site that links with your eBay store. So you don't really have to do anything but link it. So when something sells on eBay, it'll delist it on Bonanza and vice versa. And so it's really simple. And the thing that I really love about this site is when things do sell over there, they sell for the full asking price. So this truck sold for the $24.26. All right, so now let's look at the results from the experiment that I'm doing. So this first result was pre and then sell similar. You can see for that week, my sales were 267.81 and the net was 108. I sold 11 items, average sale price is $24.35. So that was for February 25th to March the 2nd. Now let's look at last week. My sales were 453.55, net 253.95, quantity sold 18, and that was from the 3rd through the 9th. So as you can see, my sales and my net almost pretty much doubled from what it was before. So was this end and sell similar? Probably. I also listed a lot more. So we're going to see this week, when I do the sales report for next week, I'm going to see if this trend continues. My sales are still doing fairly well, especially on eBay. Of course, Poshmark not so much, and Mercari is so-so, but I'll be interested to see like next week to compare the three. So make sure you go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you can see as well if this end and sell similar is making a difference. And let me know, do you do the end and sell similar on eBay, or what other tricks and tips do you have on the different platforms to make more sales? Can't wait to hear what you say. And thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later.